I was on Tinder and I was just like living my life, living my truth. And then this one guy messages me and he's like, was it affirmative action or did you actually have the grades? And I go, excuse me? I think about that every single day. And it always sucks to be reminded that when a stranger sees you, he looks at you and he goes, you don't belong here.
And I think that's a stigma that still needs to be shaken off today. That if I'm a black student, I only got here because I am black and not because I excelled academically throughout, K through 12.
William & Mary could absolutely benefit from having a course or multiple that addresses diversity and inclusion.
There's not too much inclusion in terms of what we study here. We have to take these 7 courses and at least 3 credits in each of them. And only one of them is any type of study outside of Western culture. Other than that one is you can completely be educated by, women married and only take 1 class about someone's experience. I think that's not even trying. It's just checking a box. So I wouldn't call that inclusion.
People will come really close to talking about the topic, but they won't ever approach it because they're worried they're going to say something wrong. And that's a typical women married thing. You stay away from the things that you think you don't have a right to say or the things that you're worried might offend someone.
I was the only black person in my class. Super awkward, as you can expect. Sometimes that happened where you would ask a question and everybody was like, I don't want to say anything because maybe I'll be insensitive. And so now I'm left to kind of just the only speaker on questions and topics of just my race. So it's kind of tough because I can't speak for everyone, and I don't feel like I should have to at the same time.
I don't think I've had really that many people of color as professors, and that makes it kind of hard because I don't see myself reflected here. So can I be a professor? Is this really meant for me if I don't see myself here?
Because, if you're taking these classes and no one is looking like you teaching those courses, well, where is my upward, level? Because you don't want to be in a department where you can't have some future in it.
The professors here at William & Mary can tend to be a little out of touch with not just the student body, but the changing society that we're in. I definitely think that's a barrier to increasing the discussions of diversity in our classes. If the professor doesn't feel comfortable bringing it up or discussing it, then there's no guarantee that it'll come up at all.
I didn't have my first black professor until this year, so my senior year of college. The government department is very lacking in diversity. I'm taking 1 class this semester taught by a black professor, Neil Henderson, the only black professor that I've taken in Gov. But every time I walk into class, she greets me, I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, this is home.
You can look at the consequences of having a small number of faculty from underrepresented categories. That puts a tremendous stress on those underrepresented faculty and those underrepresented students. The faculty have to take on a lion's share of, trying to mentor the students and trying to teach their course and, to also reach their personal goals. And then the students themselves have to work, I think, twice as hard. They really kind of take on administrative duties. The students still want to succeed, try to search and find all these types of things and opportunities, but at the same time, it's I would appreciate an administrative check if I'm going to do their job too.
I think that's one thing we think of professors who have tenure. They're kind of old white guys with beards.
When Dr. Hinton got tenured, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. But it also just fucks me up that the school is over 300 years old, and I'm like, that kind of hits me really hard in terms of academia, where it's if I don't really see people of color represented, it sends a message that they're not supposed to be here, and it sends a message that they're not welcome.
We're not doing anything to hire more black faculty. You're going to celebrate this, but not embrace it because you want to look good.
We're going to keep pushing for these things to be included both in our curriculum and outside of it. And the earlier and sooner that you engage with students in discussions about this, the smoother the transition is going to be into a William & Mary that we're all still fighting for until it's the place we want it to be and the place we thought it was, but now we know it's not.
William & Mary will like to broadcast that we're a place where you can come from all backgrounds and succeed, but then once you get here, it's only one background is really succeeding. They have 2 sort of Women Marys, one that they sell to students and one that students experience.
And it's hard because there's a stereotype about Asians being good at science. I think that I'm not allowed to be bad at anything. I had a lot of issues with anxiety and depression related to schoolwork and related to grades and stuff, and it was really, really hard asking for help because I was kind of reinforced with this message of, oh, of course you're not struggling, you're super smart at this, of course this is so easy for you.
I definitely feel the pressure, of wanting to succeed, because if I don't, why they got black kids here in the first place? They can't do the work.
I just wish that those stereotypes could just be dropped, because those can lead to a lot of, I should be this and I'm not, and now I'm letting down who I think I should be.